Hi, and welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining me. I'm Alison, and in this video I thought I'd show you my doll's house that I've been restoring. Now this was my old childhood doll's house, so I reckon I was about 7 or 8 when I was given it as a present from my parents. It's moved around with me over the years, so it got quite tatty and worn. Plus my youngest son really liked playing with it with his dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs did a lot of damage both to the house and the people within it. Now I started restoring it probably about 6 months ago, and it started with a lick of paint, which then led to replacing the curtains, the flooring, putting lighting in. It's been so much fun, and I can thoroughly recommend it to anyone who likes their crafts. You get to combine all your crafting skills that you've built up over the years when you restore a doll's house. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop behind the camera and give you a closer look so you can have a look inside. See you in a bit. And now it's time for a closer look. As you can see, we've got lovely flowers cascading up the outside. These are miniature paper flowers that you can buy from most craft shops, which are then stuck to the outside of the house. And outside the door, we've got a couple of little dogs. Now these were buttons that I've cut the hook off of so I could attach them to the house. We've also got a bead with some flowers in it to give the idea of a vase or plant pot. And we've used some more beads here for the light outside. There's also a bead for the doorknob too. And we can open the door and see inside the lounge. Now I'm just going to open the main doors to the house and show you what's inside. So you can see we've got 4 main rooms and a staircase and the landing as well. So let's have a look in the lounge first. Now as I mentioned in my earlier introduction, the figures within the doll's house got rather damaged as they were sort of eaten by dinosaurs. So I made new people. Now I needle felt, so the people have got pipe cleaners as their body, their arms and their legs, which I've then wrapped in wool, needle felted it into place, and then made their little outfits out of sort of offcuts of fabric. They've also got wool for their hair too. We've also made a very small needle felted dog. He's actually got a wire body inside of him as well with pipe cleaners, because it's very difficult when working on something that small to get the structure you need. You can see that there's Dad with his suit on, sat in a chair, and a little boy here playing with the dog. You might have also noticed that the fireplace flickers. I've used 3 LED flickering lights in the fireplace to give this fire effect. I've also used some beads on the fireplace as well to give the idea of vases and decorations, as well as some beads on the walls too. We've also got beads hanging from the ceiling to give the idea of lights in the ceiling too in all of the rooms. When I first started restoring the doll's house, I wasn't actually going to do lighting. So unfortunately I couldn't actually get them into the ceiling lights, because by then I'd already decorated the doll's house, hence why we've used lamps in this particular one. If we move up to the bathroom, this was the original bathroom suite from the 1980s in my childhood, and you can see I've decorated again with these are buttons I've used here for decorations on the wall, and again some sort of beads and buttons as well as sort of decorations here. We've got a sort of sparkly dome, and these were from jewellery making equipment I already had. I thought it just looked like a nice decoration. I think it's a lighthouse actually, but it seemed to go quite well with a bathroom. The lamp in the bathroom is made from beads too. So I had some old doll's house lamps that I had bought that were quite tatty and dilapidated, so I sort of restored them using some beads, and I also replaced the lighting in them So they now all have LED lights, so they're more economic and safer. We move into the landing, we see we've got a lamp there as well, and a bead at the back to show like a large pot with some flowers in it. And if we move into the bedroom, it's a little bit darker, the bedroom. We've just got one lamp at the back there, and we've got a little girl sort of dancing with her mum, looking after the toddler in the cot. The bedspread was quite worn, so I made a new bedspread. We've got a little teddy on the bed too as well, and a rug that's made from sheepskin wool, very old sheepskin wool. That's got drawing on the back from my childhood. And then also we've got some decorations. Now, like most crafters, I've just built up a stash of bits and bobs over the years. So this all came from my stash of things that I've got. So I put some, again, this is a button. And this was just decorations I already had. I made the mobile. The mobile is made from an old key ring. And then these are jewellery making little teddy bears, and I think that's a rabbit holding some carrots that I thought made quite a cute mobile to go above the cot. If we move down into the kitchen, we can see what we've done down there. Now, some of this furniture was from my childhood and some of it I've acquired over the years. Because I moved the doll's house around quite a lot, it sort of lives in my window. We are fortunate enough to live on a high street through our town. Well, it's a village, but it's a very large village. I actually do put the doll's house in the window. So in order so things don't move around when I move it, I actually do blue tack most of the things down, but occasionally move, and you might be able to see a little bit of blue tack underneath that. So in the kitchen, we've also got some lights coming from the cooker too. They are actually orange LED lights. I'm not sure my phone is showing them as orange, and they flicker to give the idea of the cooker being on. For that, I sort of drilled a hole in the back of the oven and put the LED lights in there to give an idea of it shining up through the hob. As you can see, with the sink in the background, we've got some washing up to do. And as we move around the kitchen, we'll see we've also got a lamp at the back there as well. Again, some of these decorations that you'll see in here are from jewellery making sets. So the idea is you would put them on like a charm bracelet or something. So you've got these are the lighthouses again, but I thought they looked a little bit like salt and pepper sort of shakers. And we've got some like goblets at the back there too, to give the idea of kitchen equipment. Move forward to the front. We've got a sewing machine and and some wool in a basket too. Now the curtains and the windows were very tatty, so I replaced those so the curtains match the bedspread, which is now rather nice. We've got a little bit of wooden dowel as the curtain rails. I've sewed little hooks onto the curtains, and then we attached a bead onto each end of the curtain rails too, to give the idea of wooden curtain rail, and then a bit of gold string to give the idea of the sash tie backs. I also used some balsa wood to make some window frames, which I coloured in dark stain, otherwise the windows didn't stand out that much. Now, to say the lighting, I decided to do after I'd actually finished the doll's house, which was not ideal. So we'll now take a look around the back of the doll's house and see what I've done with the lighting there. I'll see you in a bit. As you can see, we're now at the back of the house, and you can see that we've got wires coming from each of the rooms into the little outhouse. Now, I did think about putting channels in and actually sort of hiding the wires away, But I decided against it because at certain times of the year I should be putting extra lighting in there. For instance, at Christmas time, I made these Christmas trees to go inside the house. I actually had 3 of them, and they looked great fun. And we had presents underneath the tree and stockings on the fireplace, and it was actually lovely. And it was lovely seeing all the little children look at the doll's house through the window. Well, I'm fortunate enough that we own a 3D printer, so my husband made me this little outhouse to put the wiring in. That's just my plan of which wires go to which room in the house. And you can see that we've got a circuit board in there with the wiring to the house. And then if I put the lid back on, it matches the rest of the house quite nicely. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the tour of the house, and perhaps it's even inspired you to have a go yourself. You can pick up dolls' houses relatively cheaply second-hand, and then you can just let your imagination run wild. If you have any questions or would like to know more about certain elements of what I've done here, pop it in the comments below and I'll see if I can do some more videos to answer your questions. Well, thanks for watching and stay subscribed to see what I'm up to next time. See you again. Bye bye.